Previously, we talked about board representation. Now, what are we doing today? We are actually building a printer. Now, if you're new here, let me just get a few things out of the way. My name is Programmer Filthy, also known as Emmanuel. I am a Java developer originally, but currently I am venturing into Go. And with that being said, I am using Go to build a chess engine. Now, I basically don't have any idea in Go, and that's the reason why I find it interesting to just use Go to learn how to code at the same time build a chess engine. Now let's just get straight into it. The previous week or last time we uploaded a video, we spoke about board representation, and if you missed that video, I'll attach it somewhere up here so you can see it. Now that out of the way, let's just go back into code, and I'm first just going to show you guys what the entire printer is doing, and then we can go code by code. Not actually code by code, but just a few things that are important or just very nice for you guys to know. So as you can see, this is an empty chessboard. This is like a little new chessboard. It doesn't look like a chessboard at the moment because somehow it looks funny in the thumbnail here. But as you can see, we have the ranks from 1 to 8, and we have the files from A to H. If you go back here to our chessboard, you will see that we have A to H, that is the file, and 1 to 8, those are the ranks. Now, if you look at the rest of the things, there are like stars everywhere, right? Now, these stars are literally representing just none or empty squares. Now, this, like I said, this is a new chessboard that has no pieces in it yet, right? So we have to first create a new chessboard for the printer, and then later, that's the next video that will be coming, will be representing the pieces on the chessboard. So that's it for this video. Literally, this is all you came for. But if you're interested in the code, I'm going to go ahead and just walk you guys through everything that we did and go in details if you're interested. All right, so as you can see, we can start with the main function, not actually the main function, but the function for the printer. As you can see, we have a slice of strings, right? Or a string slice containing the files called files. Oh my goodness, that's a mouthful. But as you can see, we are going from A to H, and for the pieces, we are going from empty, which is represented by a star, all the way to the king. Now we have the pawn, the knight, the bishop, the rook, the queen, and the king. And then we have a for loop here. Now this for loop is very important because this is what is actually helping us to have this to iterate over the entire board and represent the empty squares with a star. Now if we go here and see, we have for every for each index, so every square called piece in these pieces. If you look at these pieces, we are not actually using these pieces though, don't get it confused. We are using the board.pieces. As you can see, we are using the board.pieces. If we go back to the board, you will see that we are actually iterating over these pieces here. As you can see, this is the 64 squares or 64 based fixed array, or I think it's a 64 fixed size array of pieces, and that's what we are iterating over. So for every single piece, go ahead and grab the rank. And now the rank has a formula, like I spoke in the previous video. The formula is index divided by 8, and for the file is index modulus of 8. And if the file is equals to 0, then we have write w format d and then 8 minus rank. Now, what is this write here? Write is a helper function actually that is stopping us from just creating the error, error handlers everywhere. Because if we didn't have this write helper function that is taking in the writer, now this IO, which is input output dot writer, is actually what the Go's way of writing things to the terminal, right? Since we want to grab later when we go to the test, we want to grab certain things as the string builder, from the string builder, and then assert our tests and compare the strings that are grabbed from the output and say, hey, if what the output is, if the strings builder contains this exact output, then our test is correct. We just assert it against it. It's just an easier or simpler way of handling that. Now, if you go back here, as you can see, we have the writer, which is represented by W. We have format as a type string, and we have arguments of any type. That's the reason why we have dot dot here, which means spreads these arguments into any type, right? That is just Go's way of handling things. And we have dash here. This dash just means like we could just have maybe here could have been f print something, just a name. But since we are not interested in the name, we just have to check for the error. Say, hey, if error, if we don't have an error, I mean, if we have error, that's the meaning of this. If error is not nil, that means it's an error, just return from there. But this is not good for you later, so we might instead just try to print relevant error messages later, but we are not really doing that at the moment. So we're just having a simple error handler, and after that we are using this helper function so that we don't repeat ourselves in every single method. Like for example here, not every single function, god damn it. Same thing about Java. So if you can see here, if file is 0, that means if the file if we are starting at the starting file, that means, hey, give us this rank, and the rank is 8. Now let's go back here to our chessboard so that you can see if the file is 0, that means we are starting on this file, that means the rank is 0, right? Nice. I mean, that means the rank is rank 8. And as you can see, this is 8 minus rank. That is just how we are flipping the board like this, so that 8 is starting up, I mean, and 1 is starting down and 8 is up. But if we didn't have this 8 minus rank, it was going to be 8 going all the way to 1, which is not what we want for the chessboard. Now that is out of the way, and then you can see here we are writing the piece type. Here the piece type, we're just saying, hey, go ahead and just give us the piece type, which is pieces. Since we are still iterating over the pieces, which is our array of 64 squares, that means everywhere there's 64, just replace it with the piece type. And if the file is 7, mind you here, this is the first file, right? If the first file, then represent it with this, and if the file is 7, that means it's the last one. Go ahead and just go to the next line. As you can see in our here, as you can see, just, I mean, not go to the next line, but rather create a line, right? Create a line between what we have and what we already had. Okay, now that is just that. I don't think there's anything we need to worry about. As you can see here, we have the helper function that is just giving us an empty string, not empty string, but actually just empty space. And also we iterate over the files, and then for each file, just draw for us that exact file. And I mean, we just iterating over this array containing, or this slice containing these files, and then we just we're printing them down here. And that's basically it for the board printer. And we are using test-driven development, which is TDD. That's the reason why you're seeing printer.tests, and we have board.tests. We already tested the board. Now this is the printer testing. It's not really too complex. We have B, and we're just instantiating B to be equal to the new board. That means we are creating a new board, and then we are saying builder is equal to the strings.builder. That means we just instantiate a builder that talks to our strings.builder. If you are from Java, I think you also know strings.builder. It's just a string builder, which it helps us not to repeat ourselves. And then we have print, I mean b.print, and then grab the address to that builder. Now, as you can see, we have the print method. Within our printer, we have the print method still. Now, this print method is just helping us to talk to our strings builder, like I spoke about. And you can see here we have the builder. This on here is actually, I don't think this is ampersand. I think this is ampersand symbol, something, ampersand sign, something like that, which means this is just the address to the builder. We are not actually talking to the builder itself. We are trying to well, we are trying to modify the values inside the builder. That is the reason why, if we check here to say, hey, the string contains this, if the string contains that builder, string builder, then if it contains what we have here, as this, you can see it's written subtract. It means if it contains this exact symbol, then hey, we expected this for the empty squares. And if strings contains 8, that means we expected this for the 8th rank. The same applies for the first rank, and then for the files. And that is TDD for you. If I just go ahead and just run this test, you see that this test has passed. Now, this TDD helps us in just making sure our code is well tested. And then that means whatever code that we write is just going to be clean code and very nice industry standard code, right? That's basically it in a nutshell. And if you guys have any question, just literally just let me know in the comments section. And I think I'm going to be out of here, my brothers. Let me hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, consider subscribing, liking, and just let me know what you guys think. So I'm going to be out of here. See you guys in the next video, where we are going to represent the pieces on the chessboard. So our chess engine is just getting in shape. Let's get it, my boys. I'm out of here. My name is Programmer Filthy. Consider liking, subscribing, and all of that extra stuff. Let's go.